All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to class today. Um, we're going to use our strap today. We are going to do some hip work. So please be mindful. Take your strap and put it in a loop about that big. And just so you know, the internet connection seems a little wobbly today. So hang in there. I'll try to keep an eye on it from my end. And if for some reason we lose it, I'll try to jump right back in. All right, so you've got your loop, and we're gonna keep that with you and come on down to the floor. Ah, la, la. Good, and I knew my ponytail was gonna be in the way. All right, so just come on down to your backs, have your strap nearby, and place your feet on the floor and just a little bit of the heels out, not a big one, but as if you were a little bit pigeon-toed. Just bring the heels out a little and the toes in just a little bit. If that bothers you for some reason, then go ahead and change it. And then a few pelvic tilts and tucks here until we find or feel the center of our sacrum or the center of our pelvis. Few breaths in and out. Take your time here. And then come to the middle space where you have some space behind your lower back and you feel as if your hips are level. In a lot of the classes we've done lately, we've been talking about this pelvic face, clock face, right? And if we were to look at it, the belly button would be 12 o'clock, the pubis or inner groin would be 6 o'clock. And then both of our hip points at the front, the as-its bones would be 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So just see if you can feel that in your body. There'll be more work on this later once I assimilate everything I'm learning. But it's kind of interesting to feel or find that center space. And sometimes I'll put my hands right on my front hip bones and I'll try to feel if one hip is higher than the other, one hip is tighter than the other. So come to that place. And once you feel fairly settled, let the hands come down to your sides. And start to tap into your breath. And feel the nice inhale and exhale of your body, your breath, the movement of your spine when you breathe. Inhaling, nice deep breath, everyone. Good, one more deep breath. And then straighten the right leg straight down. Take the right arm straight overhead. And don't worry about doing anything else. Just have both limbs reaching away from each other. Maybe stretch them a little bit, really reach the right arm, really reach the right foot. And then settle it back down to a more neutral spot. Inhale here. Exhale, right knee to right hand, bring it into chest. Your hand comes to center, and then exhale, let them both go long again. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, stretch them out really long. Good, one more. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, stretch it out. And then let that side go. Your right foot goes back to the floor. Your left leg goes out. Your left arm goes out. Start by a big long stretch of the left side. Feel the difference, maybe one side to the other. And then bring everything back to that neutral place. Inhale. And exhale, bring the knee in. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bring it in. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale, bring it in. And release, straighten both arms, both legs overhead. And just relax for a moment. And then in your back body, I want you to press everything to the back. So I'm going to dig my heels down, gently press the backs of the hands down, squeeze my butt to almost lift off the floor and release it. Good. One more here. Squeeze everything. Press your shoulders, press your hands, press your heels, and release. Good. Bend your right knee, bring it into chest, wrap your hands around the front of your knee. We've done this quite a bit lately. I want you to push the left knee or the right knee away from you. So your arms are straight, but the shoulders are mostly down. You're now activated. Level out your hips, lift your left foot a few inches off the floor. Just a few inches. Keep pressure on the right knee, push it away. That keeps our pelvis neutral. Good. Breathe. Inhale here. Exhale. Lift the leg any amount that you can. Try not to flatten your low back and let it come back down. Inhale. Same leg. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Last one. Exhale it a quarter of the way down, a quarter of the way down. Push your other knee away from you. Flex both of your feet. Lower it the rest of the way. Bring your right knee to your chest and release it all the way down to the floor. Good. Bring the right or left knee to your chest. Hold on to it. Move the hands away. Press into that knee, hands into knee. You know what I mean? Arms are straight. Shoulders are mostly down. Lift your right foot a few inches off the floor. Just a few inches. And notice, right? So when we really play, notice what happens with the hips. Notice the shift as we stay here. See if you can stay center in the hips. All right, inhale first. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, hold for a moment, level out your pelvis, take that right leg about quarter of the way down, halfway down. Keep leveling out the pelvis. For me, I keep noticing my left hip wants to hike up and lower the rest of the way. Good, release your left leg, straighten it all out, just shake it out. Feel where your hips are, maybe where those hip points are. And then bend your knees, grab your strap, take the loop around your feet and bring it about halfway up your shins and then take those feet back to the floor. So we're going to be doing a lot with this. So if you need a break, take a break. The first thing I want you to do is spread the feet out, press the knees out. They should be lined up with your feet to create tension in your legs. So you're going to feel this work. And I just don't want the knees to be slack. I want them to be pressing out as well. Curl your tailbone, curl, curl, curl. Lift your hips a few inches off the floor. Curl the tailbone even more. Start to engage the glutes as if somebody could take the top of your glutes and pull them back into the hamstrings, right? It's that kind of a tuck. Press against your strap, everybody. And then exhale, let go. Bring your knees to your chest. Take the legs up toward the ceiling. Yeah, breathe and press against that strap. Take the hands underneath your hips and then very gently lean both legs over to the left. Start to move them away from you over to the right and back up. So we're doing little circles here. Don't go big. right? And big is relative. You might be really small circles. You might be a little bit bigger, but don't go crazy here. But press against your strap. So we're working with those outer hips a little bit. Be gentle. And then switch directions. Go slow to start. Reach and breathe. Couple more. Come back to center. Press the heels out, press the legs out, bend the knees to 90-ish degrees. So you're gonna feel a whole bunch of work starting to happen with the core. Don't let the knees come too close to your belly. In fact, if you press your arms straight out into the tops of your knees, you want that kind of distance away so you feel your belly work. Your hands can be on your sides. They can grab a hold of your mat. I want you to, from the bent knee to a straight knee. Good. Bend and straighten. Bend, keep the pressure on the low belly. Bend, straighten. Good. Couple more. Yep. Anybody feeling those legs starting to work? And straighten. Good. Bend. Take hands or thumbs underneath your sacrum or underneath your tailbone. And tap heels, 2 heels down, back up to 90 and down. Squeeze your belly. If you start to overarch or really rock the pelvis, then I want you to not take the heels down so low. Don't forget to breathe. 5, 4, and 3. Press against your strap. 2, and 1. Feet to the floor, straighten your legs, keep the strap in place. Just relax for a moment here. Take the arms overhead, big stretch, everybody. Press against your strap a little bit. All right, and then the hands down. Here's where we're gonna start to move around a little bit, so just be mindful again. First thing I want you to do is press against your strap and engage the outer hips. You're gonna feel this probably pretty quickly. Give your glutes a nice little squeeze. Breathe, everyone. And release, turn on to your right side. Lift that top leg and press. Bottom leg presses down, top leg presses up. You know who you are. I talked to you this morning. Please be real careful with this, especially on your tender side. Breathe, press, press, press. You're gonna roll onto your belly. Yep, and if you're like me, you're off your mat. Press up. Press, press, press. If you're, sorry, press just one leg up, just that left leg. If your strap is too big, you're gonna overarch here, and so please be careful. Press up, lower that leg, squeeze both legs away from each other, and come onto the toes. So you're flexing your feet. The knees are lifting. Yes. Breathe. You should feel those glutes working. Good. Release, flat feet. Roll back onto your right side. Take that leg high with you. Roll back onto your back. Spread the legs, press against your strap, and then release. Just bend your knees. A little bit of work, so effective, right? So effective at working these outer hips. Good. All right, so other side, I'm just gonna move a little bit away from the wall here so I have room to roll. Let's roll. Okay, so press the legs away from each other again. For me, I lift the back of the knees off the floor a little bit and then press against, digging my heels in and out all at the same time. Breathe. Use your breath to get that oxygen to the muscles. Good. And then roll to your left side. Reach up. I'm going to be way too close to the wall. Reach up, everybody. Keep the torso in a nice line, straight up, straight down. Don't lean forward. Don't lean back. Work with the heel of your top foot as if you could push that up. Yep, everybody breathe. Press down through the bottom leg. You got this. And then roll onto your bellies. Lift the right leg. Keep the left leg down. Keep the hips on the floor. Breathe. And even if you can't get purchase on the strap, it's more important to keep both hips down on the floor, both hip points. Breathe. Lower, flex your feet, push your heels away from each other. This is probably the hardest one for me. Woo! Breathe, everybody. We watched a comedian last night and he said, it's okay to go woo when you're in an audience, but imagine if you were meeting someone and said, how are you? And they went, woo. It would be kind of weird. All right, release, flat feet. Roll back on your left side. Keep the leg lifted if you can. I know you're feeling this. I'm feeling it too. Roll back onto your back. Press it apart. And then release it and find your way back on your mat if you have rolled all over the place. Good. Bring your knees to your chest. Take your strap out. Set the strap aside. Bring the knees to your chest. Good. Roll over to one side or roll over to your right side. Cushion your head. Bring your legs to 90 degrees. So you're from hip to knee, from knee to feet. And if you're off mat, roll on mat or make sure your knees aren't on something hard. So the knees stay stacked together. You're going to lift your top foot off your bottom foot. So still working with a little bit of the hip work here. And then down. Let's do that 5 more times. 5, belly toned in. 4, 3, go slow, feel the top end. 2, and 1, lower down. Now we're going to take both feet out. This is some of the training I've been learning. Both feet up and down. 2 and 3. Yep, working with the hip and the side waist. 3, 4, 5. Lower down. Hold on. Good. And your top hand, by the way, is out in front of you, just supporting you. So this time, both feet and your head, and try to lift the head just sideways as if you were going to take your ear to your shoulder. So lift the feet, lift the head, both at the same time, and lower. So this is 2 and 3. Try not to roll forward. 4, 1 more. And 5, good. Almost done with this. Straighten your top leg, turn the toes toward the front wall or to the wall in front of you and toes down slightly. Either just leg or leg and head. So lift, don't lift high on the leg. 2 and 3, woo, and 4, 1 more everybody. And 5, and let go. Bend the knees, just relax. And then that top knee, just lift the knee, keep the feet together. And down, 2, 3, yep, just 2 more. 4, and 5, and let go. Woo! And you can take your hand and kind of rub all around that top hip, top glute, right? And just feel where you just worked. Good. And then let's turn over to the other side. You're resting your head on your arm. The knees are stacked and they're one on top of the other and they're at 90 degrees. All right, here we go. So lifting the bottom foot, lift, belly in. 2, feel that. 3, go slow, right? We don't want to rush this. 4, 1 more. 5, and then both feet, lift and lower. What you want is that top end of that movement. You want to just pause there for a second. 3 and 4 and 5. Good. Lower down. We're going to add the head to this. So working more with the obliques, more with the side body here. Ready? Here we go. Lift 1 and 2, 3. Yep. And 4 and 5. Good. Lower down. Those have gotten easier for me. When I first did them, I thought they were a little tricky. Take the top leg, straighten it out, turn the toes down a little bit, keep the hips level so one hip stacks on top of the other. And again, you can add the head or not. Squeeze it up 1 and 2 and 3. Head, ear goes toward that leg. 4, 1 more. And 5, good. Bring the knees back together. Pause for a second here, and then lift the top knee away from the bottom. Don't roll back. 2 and 3, yep. And 4, whew. And 5, good job, everybody. Just pause for a second, and then push yourself all the way up and have a seat. Maybe cross the legs or straighten the legs in front of you and just kind of get a sense of what those legs are feeling like. Good. And then take the legs out in front of you. Take them nice and wide. So we did a fair amount of work there without realizing it. Lean back, open up the chest, shoulders, and some windshield wipers here. Find your breath. Good. Couple more here. And next time those knees are over to the right, I'm not mirroring here because I want to keep it straight. Once they're over to the right, start to draw the back hip forward. Turn toward your right thigh and breathe. Walk the hands out, but not down. Like don't drop down on your chest. And again, I'm out of room. So breathe and just feel your side body. Now, when you're here, I want you to tuck your tailbone, which is going to feel like if your left hip is high, it's going to feel like you're tucking that left hip under and then drawing the ribs in, especially the right side ribs. Big deep breath. Maybe walk the hands out more, but keep the torso up. Good. Tuck through the pelvis. Breathe. And then walk the hands back. Come on back. Open the knees back up to your normal. Windshield wiper a couple more times. And then when the knees go over to the left, pause there. So we're doing that same thing, right? You're going to start to wrap your body around that left side and feel what's happening. Walk the hands out, then curl under that pelvis. Right. So it's like you're taking the right glute and tucking it under. You're moving the right front hip forward, but you're drawing the belly in, right? In and up. And feel that. Soften the ribs on the left side. So the left side lower ribs are going to draw in. The hands walk out a little bit more. Good. Breathe, everybody. And release. Come on up. Ooh, take the legs back to center and come to Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. It would be nice cueing to put your blanket under your butt here, right? If you have a blanket, I'll just do it instead of just cue it because it would help to get the hips up just a little bit. So we take the hips up, then we come to Baddha Konasana. We help the pelvis come into a little more neutral or less rounded position. And we just pause here. Once again, knees, blocks under knees, always helpful, especially if those knees are up nice and high. Or a second blanket can be helpful. And then just like, right? So inhale, lift up. Exhale, press it back down. Good. Inhale, press up. Exhale, bring it down. One more. Inhale, press up. Exhale, press it down. Whew, good. Take the hands to the outside of the knees, bring them up, and then spring them out. Being very mindful here, especially if there's any kind of knee sensations. There's so much I'm learning right now that will be incorporated into a lot of future classes. But if you feel, one of the things the teacher says is if you feel a strain, which I will often feel in this left knee, then you need to back off, right? Straining is not appropriate. Stretch is different from strain. And that strain is that almost like a little bit of pain kind of sensation. Don't need it, don't want it. So I want you to press the heels down and then imagine you're going to pull them back. So flex the feet, push the heels into the ground, and then imagine you're going to pull them back. They're really not going anywhere, but feel that like big engagement through here. Inhale, take the arms up. Breathe as you exhale, one hand down, one hand over. Keep the activity in the legs. Breathe. Inhale, center. Exhale, the other side. And stretch. Dig the heels in, pull the legs back isometrically. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive. Listen up. Take the hands right in front of you. That swan dive is to try to keep the chest open, flex through the feet, press through the big toe mounds, pull the legs back as you draw the torso forward. Find your breath, everybody. And then come on up. No hands, bend. Baddha Konasana, if you can. If you need your hands, use your hands. No big deal. Find that. Lean back on that blanket. Knees come out. See if you can spring them and come forward. Oh, right. So working with the hip flexors here. Maybe the hands come a little further. I am not, I don't do a lot of both legs out forward folds. If I go deep, it can irritate my low back. So I'm super mindful here. If I'm feeling a stretch, which I am through these inner thighs, a little bit of the hamstrings, and I'm doing the work. Okay, so be mindful of where you're at. I'm dragging my hands back isometrically to try to lengthen the torso, not necessarily down, but lengthen it nice and long. Good. Last one. Come up. No hands. Put the feet together. Open the knees. Oh. Breathe. Inhale, push it up. Exhale, push it down. Good. Inhale, push up. Exhale, push down. Last one. Inhale, push up. Exhale, push down. Take the hands underneath the knees. Bring the knees together. Wrap yourself around. Good. See if you can take your feet off the floor. We might do a little egg pose for Easter. Good. Tuck your chin. Feet are off the floor. You're balancing on your blanket. And release. Good job, everybody. All right. Let's move that blanket out of the way. Let's come to table pose. Have your blocks at the front of your mat. Walk your hands forward and come into puppy stretch. So your knees are under your hips. Your forehead drops toward or to the floor. The hands are spread out. Breathe. You're not overshooting into the shoulder joints. So be mindful there that you're not just dropping through the shoulders. Keep the arms and the upper back active. Find your breath. And then walk those hands back, table pose. When you're ready, the left hand is going to go halfway to the center of your mat. The left arm is going to, the left hand is going to go halfway towards center. The right arm is going to go up. Good. Tone in through your belly. Exhale, eye of the needle. Hand slides underneath. We drop down to our shoulder. The left arm extends up toward the top of our mat. The hips find center and we breathe. If this is too much pressure, please come out of the pose. Find your breath. Again, for me, I gotta shift my hips back toward the right just a little bit. Good. Stretch through that whole left side. The left hip moves away from the left armpit. And then take the right or the left hand underneath your left shoulder. Push up, lift up, take the arm up, spread your wings. Watch that crease in the wrist. There you go. And exhale, take it down. Oh, shake it out, everybody. And then your right hand comes toward the center of your mat. The left arm reaches up. Stretch it out, everybody. And exhale, eye of the needle, taking that down, dropping onto that shoulder, extending through the right arm. And find your breath. Just breathe. And again, maybe assess the hips. Do they need to move back over to the left? Are they more centered on this side? That's it. And then walk the right hand under right shoulder. As you press up, lift up, stretch, and exhale, take it down. Good job, everybody. So table pose again. Tone in through the belly. Think about that pelvic clock face and draw in through that belly so you're not underarching, overarching, keeping it nice and neutral. Press through the right leg, retone the belly, lift the leg, and just pause. So I'm flexing the foot, I'm engaging that glute, the leg is straight back from my hip, and then just take it out to the side a little bit. And then take it across a little bit. You're not lowering it. It's like a metronome. And you're taking it to one side, you're taking it to the other side. You can start to move the head with the leg. So I'm looking over one shoulder, I'm looking over the other shoulder. The toes are trying their best to stay down. One more, both sides. And then take it to center, engage. Let's go to balancing table, left arm out. Squeeze the glute, bring the pubic bone up toward the belly button. Lower down, lower your knee. Go ahead and sit back. Find your breath. Good. Come on up, everyone. Shake out your bunny tail. We have a bunny in our yard. And he's so cute. He just runs around. He hides under the bushes. Came out from the carport the other day. It's really adorable. All right, same thing other side, right? And remember, if your wrists are really chatty, go to soft sits here. Just make sure your wrists are stable enough to do so, right? And then take the left leg out. Squeeze the low belly in, lift the hip, try to find level. The toes are pointing down, the belly squeezes in, and do that same weird little metronome thing. Starting to look across one side and then the other, and breathe. Imagine if your heel of that foot were leading the way. It'll help you keep your toes down. Breathe. I'm less coordinated on this side. It's so weird. That's it. Think about crawling when you were a baby, right? Hands, feet, head, everything was moving. Good, last set. And then take it straight out, re-level, take the right arm out, balancing table. Find your breath. And lower and let go. Shake everything out. Woo! And then downward facing dog. When you're in down dog, actually lift the heels of your hands one at a time off, spread out through the fingers, find that rack of knuckles, and then come into the center of the hands. And imagine that you could grip your pinky finger and your thumb around something. So a little more attention, both spots. Pedal out your feet. Take the feet wide. Walk the hands back. Soft knees, find your forward fold. Bend the knees, everybody. Hands come to knees and on up and ooh, shake it out, right? Let all that blood come back where it belongs. Ooh, shake out the wrist, give them a little curl. I know that can be a lot on the wrist. It's really interesting how that can happen. Squeeze your fists and then let them go. And squeeze and let them go. Shake it out. All right, so back to the front of your mat. Let's add on to all of that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it down. If you're using your chair today, you can do all of this on your chair, hands to chair. Step back, right leg. Engage your glutes, level out your hips, take your hands to your knees, lift up, open up the shoulders, and then find the hip line, right? Put both hands on the front hip points and see if you can find level, and then see if you can find level here. That's the trickier one in a lunge, right? Because how do we press through the back leg and tone in the front belly? Take the arms up, hold on to the beach ball, use your breath. That's it. Feel it, everybody. Press through the back leg, tone in through the front, level out the hips, and then slow. Exhale, 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 all the way down. One hand can come to a block. The other one reaches up. Find your breath. And as you exhale, you're going to drop that left arm down and under your left leg as if you were going to hook your knee. And then take it up again. Exhale, hook under your knee and lift. Good. One more, hook under and lift up. And then release it. Hands come down. You're going to step back down, downward facing dog. Pedal it out, everybody. Hold on to the beach ball. Plank pose. Breathe. Lower your right knee. Lower your left knee. Sink back. Stretch it out. And then curl it up. Release it. Lift your head. Tone through your belly, down dog. Find your pose. Notice where your hands are. Look through your hands. Step forward, right leg. Make sure your pose is wide enough. And as I say, I always immediately kind of tone in through that low belly and the inner groin. Hands come to knee. Lift your chest. Open up the shoulders. Here we are again, right? The hips have to kind of find this level space. The back foot presses back. If you're not sure, bend the back knee. Find the level here especially, and then see if the back leg will press back. Come way up on the ball mound. See if you can find that toning. And then drop the heel. Take the arms up. Breathe. Smile. Find your pose. Find your strength. Is everybody engaging the back glute? As you exhale, slow, 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 down, down, down. One hand to your block. Exhale and take that arm up. Open it up, press through the back leg, tone through the belly. Feel this front hip glute working, right? And then when you're ready, drop that right arm under your knee, squeeze, and lift. Exhale, squeeze it in, and lift. One more. Squeeze in and lift. Exhale, hand down, move the block out of the way. Step back, down dog. Fire up the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the upper back. Plank pose. Breathe. Left knee down, right knee down, sit back. Use your breath, everybody. This time I want you to slide onto your bellies. Come to Sphinx pose. Lift up, tone in, press through the tops of the feet, and feel your breath. Good. Lower all the way down. Let your hands be a cushion for your head. I'll have to keep mine up so I don't get too muffly. Bend your right knee. Bend your right knee. So we're playing with a little bit of the hip stuff that I'm learning, and you'll see how it feels for you. Make sure both of your hips are pressing down to the floor, and then dig your right knee in and drag it up toward your hip isometrically. So your right glute will lift. Pull the knee up and in, and then release that and see if you can lift the right knee, not high. Lower down. Dig the right knee in, try to drag it up toward your hip. There you go, Judy. Isometrically. Release it and lift it. One more. Knee down, drag it in. Feel the belly hollow. Release that drag in and lift the knee. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down and release. Bend the left leg. Press evenly through the hips. When you're ready, dig the knee in, try to pull it up. Your left glute will lift up a little bit. And release it and lift the knee. Good. Drop the knee, dig in, pull it up. And release. Lift the knee. Down. Last one. Dig and pull that knee up. Release. Lift and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Bend both knees. Walk the knees out. Feet are in. Lift both knees off the floor. Squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Woo, shake it out, everybody. Turn onto your right side. Lift the top leg. Keep the toes pointing not just forward, but slightly down. We're back where we were. Breathe, everyone. Your head is supported one way or the other. Bring the leg back behind you and then circle it low and forward and bring it around. So these are big little circles, big little circles. Don't lift high. I want you to keep the toes pointing forward and slightly down. One more big circle, big squeeze your butt. Bring your knee to your chest. Whew. Release it. Stack the legs. Turn to your belly. Roll to the other side. Legs stack. Lift the top leg. Turn the toes in. Find your belly, right? Hold, squeeze, and then slide it back. Lower it. Bring it forward. Raise it. Don't go high. It's tempting, right, to go high. Breathe, circle, lower, forward. Good. One more. Big circle, big little circles here, and up, and breathe, and release. Come to your bellies. Lower down, lift one leg, keep both hips on the floor, don't overlift. As soon as you skew your hips or feel pain in your low back or SI joints, you've come too high. So imagine pointing your toes long to the wall behind you. And lower down, do the other side. Whew. Breathe. Lower down, flex your feet, put your toes on the floor, lift your knees, tuck your belly strongly. Find your breath. Lift your knees, tone strongly through your belly so you're resting more on the pubic bone. And relax, lower it down. Look down at your mat, push into your knees, lift up, plank, down dog. Shake it all out. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Walk your feet wide and walk your hands back. Pause for a moment here. Let the head hang. Lengthen through your spine. Bend the knees. Take your hands to your knees. Come on up nice and slow. All the way up. And roll your shoulders out. And shake it out, everybody. And kind of notice, excuse me, notice how you're feeling or not feeling, especially in this area as we keep kind of playing with those ideas. And then maybe find a wall spot. We're going to just kind of bring this home one more time. Find a little spot where you can find the wall. Get up really tall. Try not to hyperextend the knees. Take one leg out to the side. Now, you don't have to hang on to the wall, but I'd rather you not worry about balance and instead really lengthen through the standing leg, okay? So you're gonna find the standing leg working harder than the lifted leg. Take the leg forward, toes point up. Take the leg straight back, squeeze your butt. Take it out and circle. And back, don't arch your back, out to a circle. Last one, reach it back, squeeze, out and around, hold it in front of you, see if you can let go of the wall. Leg doesn't have to be high, it's big, strong, standing leg, and lower down. Shake it out, shake, shake, shake. Other side, stand tall. When you're ready, take it out to the side and just get a sense. Often one side more challenging than the other. Good, Lynn, toes forward. Yes, hardest part of this is toes forward, almost turned in. Almost turned in. That's when you start to feel this tensor fascia lata here, this outer glute hip. Good, forward. Back squeeze. Out, forward. And slow. Pause. Pause, right? Keep it going, but pause. Squeeze back. Whoop, I almost tilted my chest. One more, stand tall, stand tall. I know the standing leg's really tired. And then reach the leg forward. Squeeze in through the standing leg, lift that other leg any amount. And lower down. Woo, shake it out. Especially after yesterday. Feeling all this happening. Take your feet a little wider on your mat. Bend your knees. Take your hands to your knees to start. And just check your knees to feet line up. Make sure your knees are straight forward and lined up over your feet. If you can, take the hands to the outside of your knees and push out. Try not to drop the head, but you're not looking up either, right? Neutral spine, belly's toned in. Push, push, push. And release. Whew. And breathe. It's getting warm in here, huh? Let me put the back fan on, which I forgot to do. All right. So back to the front of your mat, everybody. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Whew. Soften your pose. Real nice forward fold here. We haven't done a really deep one in a while. So just be mindful. Keep the knees soft, even as we lift our sit bones. Bend the knees, step back, right leg. Grab your block for the right hand Take that block up to the, or sorry, for the left hand. Take the block up at its highest level, drop your back foot to the side position, and then take your left hand to your left knee and come up. Just a simple warrior pose. Simple, simple. Bring the front hip back in, tuck under that front glute. Okay? Yep. And then press through both legs isometrically. Straighten your front leg. Notice if the knee rolled in. If it did, bring the front hip back, but don't sink. Just bring it back. And then lean the whole torso forward. Take your hand to your block. Take the other arm up. If that is too low for you, take your hand to your shin or to your knee. Breathe. And then play with this idea that your hips could kind of crisscross, sit bone to sit bone, right? Find your breath, lengthen your torso so that the whole underside of your body is long. Press fully into the front foot. Breathe. Bend your front knee, extended side angle. Take the top arm over your ear. It's a big pose, everybody. It might be too low. And then push up, push up, push up, push up. Exalted warrior. Reach the top arm high. Both arms up. Turn your front toes forward. All toes point in. Exhale, arms out to the side, forward fold. Maybe walk the hands out and create traction for your torso, particularly your lower back. Big deep breath. Walk the hands in, heel toe in, enough to bend your knees, hands come to knees. Hold the stomach in, lift your chest, come on up. Woo, shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. Other side, the block goes to the outside. Your right foot is forward. We can just step back with our left foot and come right to warrior two. Again, right? So it's this really interesting thing of front knee lines up with your foot, lines up with the center of your hip bone. If I find my front hip bone and I look, it's pretty well straight up in that knee and the foot. And again, it's possible that this front glute has to roll in, but the whole torso has to level out. Breathe, the arms come out. Nice warrior two pose. Back leg is active. Breathe. And then straighten the front leg. Push through the back leg. Lean forward. Find your block. Take the other arm up. Play with the pose. Now, if you can lengthen through that front hip and tuck a little bit, should take any angst or any pressure off the sacrum. Big deep breath. The belly tones in, the underside body gets long. Bend your front knee. Take the top arm over your ear, extended side angle. Again, my front hip had to roll back a little more. And then push up, push up, push up, push off. Exalted warrior. And breathe. And then reach up, turn all your toes forward. I'm not going to put my butt to you. And come on down. Oh, everybody breathe. Hands to the floor, to your blocks. Whew. And then bend one knee and just stretch out through the other. So the inner thigh of the straight leg getting a nice stretch. And center, walk the hands, stretch. One knee bent, one leg straight. And center. Just turn the toes in, pigeon toe your toes. Press out through your heels and feel that. Feel that kind of motion right out through the outer hips, outer glutes. Lengthen up halfway. Push, push, push. One hand to hip, the other hand to your hip, and see if you can come up. And then heel toe in, everybody, and shake out those legs. All right, so let's just do a nice, easy balance pose. You may want your strap, you may not want your strap. I'm going to give you a couple choices here. So easier, right? Tree pose. The big secret is this standing hip. It always, always is the standing hip. So we lift up tall, we find that external rotation of the leg, but keep the hip center and come to tree. Choice number 2 would be to bring the knee front forward, grab your toe or your ankle or your shin and extend out that way. Right, so breathe. That's it. Woo. You stay, I had to let go. And everybody let go there. So what happens, right? What happens here when we draw in, when we keep toning the muscles of the side hip, right? As we tone tensor fascia lata, glutes, we support the hip joint, right? We support the knee joint. So it's all good work, everybody. Same thing other side. You decide, right? Squeeze in, tree pose, bring the toes up. Whoop, grab your toes. And take the leg out if that is your choice. That's it. Embrace the shake, everybody. Woo! Release and let go. Whew. Grab one block. You can actually, I mean, 2 would work too, so grab 2, it's okay. It's just a stretch here that I want you to do that the blocks will help with stabilizing. So you're here, I want you to cross your left foot in front of your right, so you're crossed. Your back knee pushes toward your front knee. Hinge from your hips. Your hands go to your blocks for stability. Whew. If your front, let me see if I can get this right. If your front leg is your left leg, lean to the right a little bit. Make sure you're not hyperextending your back knee. That's the challenge here. Stretch. And center. You can probably do it from here if you release. Bring both feet back to neutral and then cross right over left. If you can't, come up to standing first. Adjust your blocks as needed. Soften the back knee toward the front knee and then lean toward the left or toward the back leg's hip. That's it. And center. Undo your legs. Set your blocks aside. Walk yourself to down dog. Hold on to the beach ball. Breathe. Widen the feet just a little bit. Soften the knees a bunch. Look at your knees and see if they are both centered and pointing forward toward the feet. And then imagine pulling your heels of your feet away from each other. Keep working. Good. Lower your knees, everybody. If you can just crisscross your legs, roll over. Some of you can, some can't. And then have your strap and a block near you come on down to your backs. Ooh-wee. Just pause here. You're on your backs. I want you to take your hands to your front hip points again and figure out what's happened to them, right? Are they neutral? Is one higher, one lower? My left hip is hiked up, so I can tell I created a little imbalance there. I want you to grab your block, take it at the narrowest level between your knees. Been doing this a fair amount as well. These are called hip resets. I have found them to be really helpful for me. For some people, this narrow setting doesn't feel good. And if you're one of those people, just take it to second level. The first thing I want you to do is squeeze your knees, just squeeze. And then release it. And then tuck your pelvis. Lift your hips a couple of inches off the floor. Squeeze your block. Really tuck under here. Find your breath, squeeze your block. And then lower down. Grab your block, feet to the floor, and a couple pelvic tilts and tucks. Just a couple. And then take the block at the second width between the knees, not the thighs, but the knees. Squeeze in gently. So if on a scale of 10, 10 was the hardest you could squeeze, I would probably do no more than a 5. Give you a sense of where you should be. Squeeze. And then release the squeeze. And then squeeze, tuck, and lift. Squeeze your block. Keep the tailbone tucking. Shoulders, upper body, super soft here, everyone. Big deep breath. And release. Take it down. Grab your block. Feet to the floor, a couple tilts and tucks. And then last one, you take the block as wide as you can. Take it between your knees. Adjust the feet accordingly, but try to be sure those feet are under the knees, right? So that you're not going wide or narrow. Give your block a little squeeze. Notice if you're flattening your lower back. If you are, just bring it back to more neutral. Release the squeeze. And then tuck your pelvis and lift again. Woo, that's it. Keep tucking. Draw those sit bones nice and long. Draw the tailbone long. And lower down. Woo. Bring your knees to your chest. Release. Feet to the floor, couple pelvic tilts and tucks. And then grab your strap, take your loop around your feet and bring them up to the ceiling. Don't work real hard here. Just press against your strap. Find your breath. Legs are straight. Knees are straight. Heels are pressing out gently. Don't overwork. We've worked pretty hard today. And breathe. And then bend the knees and see if you can just adjust your strap wider. By about double that, don't go to your widest width, but probably about double or a little more than that, and then take the legs up again. Let the hips be really soft. Find a tiny space behind your low back. Press the heels out. Use your breath. Keep tension on the strap. Bend. If you can go any wider, take your strap wider still. Go into a wide leg supine fold. Don't overwork here, everybody. I know it's hard, right? Because this is work in and of itself, but press gently 10, 20% against the strap. Find your breath. Try to settle your upper body so it's really soft. And then grab a hold of your strap, pull the legs together. Grab your strap, pull your legs back together. Take the soles of the feet together. Keep a wrap around your feet. Let the knees come out to the sides, or then drop your feet to the floor. The knees are out to the sides. So you're in Baddha Konasana. You can hold the strap to keep the bind. What I did is because my strap is long, I wrapped it around my elbows, and then I'm holding the bottom side. So I've got a little bit of a bind here, but you don't have to do that at all. Make sure your low back's not over rounding or overarching. And then pause here. Find your breath. Two more deep breaths right here. And then draw the knees together. Walk your feet out of your strap. Set your strap aside. Grab your block. Make sure I got enough time. Lift your hips. Take the block underneath your sacrum. Make sure you're solidly on your sacrum. Feel that for a moment. Bend the knees. Hands can come down along your mat. Take the legs up. Nice little inversion here. I love this. This is my second favorite inversion. My first one is the legs right up the wall. So breathe. This one is much more accessible for some. We could just grab a block anywhere. Let your shoulders soften. Let your body be still. Feel your breath. See if you can stay near the center of your sacrum so that you don't over round in the low back. Bend the knees, everyone. One foot to the floor, other foot to the floor. Press up, take the block out. Shift your hips to the left edge of your mat. Bring the knees to your chest and roll your knees over to the left. Now, you know, right? If you need a block under your knees or between your knees, which really can feel good, even if you don't really need one, that can be a really nice little treat. And then come to your twist. Soften the upper body, soften the ribs. Allow your body to settle. And then just lift your top knee away and then lift your bottom knee away. Feet to the floor, shift your hips to the left side of your mat. Bring the knees back up toward your chest and allow the knees to roll to the right side, maybe a block between the knees, just for a little sweet change of your twist, a little less work. Soften down, everyone. And then lift top knee and bottom knee. Shift your hips back to the middle. Maybe your blocks make a little shelf at the top back of your legs for you to come into your Shavasana, allowing the pelvis to soften, the back body nice and long, the legs fully relaxed. Maybe one more time we feel those hip points and those hips, and we get a sense of where they are. And then allow yourself to fully come into your Shavasana. Soften your body down. Allow yourself to let go fully. Soften and let go. And soften down even more. For those of you who are ready, start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Big smile on your faces. Yay! We did another class. Draw your knees to your chest. Rock side to side until the knees fall to one side or the other. Curl all the way over to fetal pose. And then press all the way up. And take your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner love and wisdom and the power to recreate and be our best selves. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.